Hey guys, Jimmy here, and welcome to, if I'm not mistaken, my first ever Game Stock Car Extreme video. We're in the Formula Extreme at Interlagos, and reason why is because, well, as much as I try and hide it, I am an F1 fan. You know, I talk dirty of it all the time, but it's like a long time kind of spouse. You're married to them for 40 years, you kind of hate them, but you still love them at the same time. So. Is what it is. I'm in the totally not McLaren and totally not Jensen Button car. And I've driven it before, I'm not going to lie. I'm going to kind of just talk through it a little bit and talk about what I like and what I dislike, etc. And try and compare it to other things and give a kind of final verdict. Not really a review, just I guess a talk and drive, as Niels hasn't trademarked that phrase yet, but we'll see. So like I said, Interlagos. And I'm actually wearing shoes for the first time when driving. They're not driving shoes, they're just normal shoes, just seeing how it feels. Taking a break from streaming as well today because my wrist is pretty broken. It's okay to drive something like this for a couple of minutes, but the streams tend to last 4 or 5 hours, so, you know, I'm not going to do that. And first thing you'll notice about this car is what feels like shorter gears, because obviously we have 8 gears. 8 gears, there you go. For acceleration and I guess fuel efficiency purposes. The fact this thing has a massive turbo strapped to it. In this Game Stock Car Extreme, the car is said to have about 800 plus horsepower compared to the cars that were made last year, the Formula Izza cars, which have about 700. And 100 extra horsepower is quite a lot, especially when we have, I think the cars are a bit heavier this year as well. But we have less downforce as well, so obviously the cars could be a bit more skatey. We have DRS, which I can open and close at will in this. I won't be doing that in corners, obviously, because I do want to try and survive. And the main thing about this car that's different from last year's car is the power delivery. A lot more torque. It's very similar, I would say, to driving the 1200 horsepower Supermod, and you're going to find out why. When I put my foot down up this hill, and acceleration is just brutal, like that. Kind of force feedback wiggle there wasn't it wasn't me trying to be silly, it was just the car itself giving a little bit of unsettled up the hill. We're doing 210 mile an hour pretty much before we brake for turn 1 really badly, 4th gear. Again, using shoes, so my inputs might be a little bit more absolute than usual, I guess would be the best way of putting it. Trying to use DRS when I can actually use it, not just at will. Staying in 7th and then down to 4th gear. Last time I drove this track in anger in a Formula car, it was a Formula 197 car. This thing differs expectedly massive for it. It's just nowhere near the same. The downforce levels in this are really quite low compared to anything else I've driven F1 style. You really notice it going over, you know, coming up the hill onto the final straight, that kind of hill. And the left-hander after that, the slight left-hander, becomes much more of a challenge. You have to really straight line it as much as you can. Don't put too much turning input into the car. Here as well is really difficult. You can't get the power till really late, and you know, it's all part of the fun though. So, much more caution needed with your right foot in this car. Oh, what am I doing DRS there for? If I didn't take DRS off, then I would have just spun. I misread the detection sign there. And again, braking very hard. The car is tricky to drive, I gotta say, compared to, you can dial kind of previous cars in to a downforce setting where they're just kind of stuck to the road. I'm running pretty high downforce now, higher than I would kind of usually run on a track like this, just so I can actually, get around the course. Oh, forgot about DRS, oh well. But it's still tricky, you can see I'm not comfortable in the corners, I'm learning off a lot. The car is capable of going much faster than it is. It's definitely a very steep learning curve getting in this car. I gave this car to a friend who doesn't sim race the other day. He wanted to drive an F1 car, so well, here you go, try it out. And he didn't get out of the pits. I was trying to explain to him, you got to clutch, then you got to just not put your foot down, but then he put his foot down, and just hilarity. In the 97s, you could go flat through here just about. Nowhere near flat in this car. Very tentative on the foot all the way around. Then flat up the hill. God, I love that. It's the power. It's so like when you get onto the kind of where the turbo is. It's such oomph. It's brilliant. And it's great to be in an F1 car that it would do more than 200 miles an hour down the straight on its own. I love F1 cars that do that. 200 miles an hour is a magic number I associate with F1. And when the F1 cars didn't do 200 miles an hour, which has been the case for the last couple of years previous, it was quite sad. It sounds pretty good as well. I mean, you can only make these cars sound so good when they don't sound good in the first place. But you know, the interior sounds are pretty strong. Exterior are okay. They kind of miss out on that whoosh a little bit that you get from these cars in real life. But hey, that's that's part of it, I guess. But very, very enjoyable. It's probably a reason to buy a game stock car, I think. Game stock car extremists. I bought this this game a couple of months ago myself, and I don't drive it as much as I kind of would like to. It's hard to explain why. You know, the AI racing is pretty good. It's not as rewarding as online racing, obviously, but you know, I'll get in the car, I'll drive a couple of laps of the Opala stock car, which I love, by the way. It's totally my kind of car. And then I'll be like, oh, okay, well, I guess I better do some online racing now, and then kind of go from there. But maybe I should give this sim more time, more airtime even. I hear that, as much as he's mentioned on my channel already, brilliantly, that Mr. Empty Box is thinking about setting up his own league. I hope he uses these cars. Those or the actual V8 stock car things. Those things are awesome. Everything in this game is awesome. There's no bad bit of content. So it's definitely worth playing, especially if you're into a single player experience. It's a lot of fun. My phone goes off in the background. I'm sure I'm getting some more abuse on YouTube or Twitter or something. My favourite sort of abuse. I'm really surprised I haven't spun the car yet. So, well, saying that now, I'm now going to spin out of this corner. Oh, I didn't. See, in the F1 car 97, you have to just throw yourself at that corner and hope it would stick, and kind of go from there. This one is much more demanding. I just slab up the hill. I'll never get used to that acceleration. Oh yeah, no boost. No DRS, obviously. ERS now. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, that it's a bit too... it's kind of on all the time, which isn't really what it should be, but there's not really a way to simulate that properly, I don't think, so I think they just left it on all the time. But still, it's a lot of fun. I was going to end the video there at that, but I actually want to do another lap in this car because I'm having so much fun right now. You do need to be kind of patient when learning this car, though. It is difficult. You know, I'm no means perfected it, as I go very wide here at turn 3. What's that, turn 4? I don't even know anymore. A turn. But it's still the most brilliant fun. I mean, if you're not into F1, like I said, you've got those V8s as well, those V8 stock car things, which are just glorious to drive. Formula V, which are also quite a big challenge, actually. They're really quite floaty. Oh, I nearly died then. Just go out and buy it. Definitely. It's definitely worth it. But anyway, guys, I'm going to try and end the video off here as I wrestle the car down the hill again. Brilliant. Thank you very much for watching. I'm hopefully going to bring you some more game stock car content in the future because I want to. It's fun. And yeah, here's a video that isn't a stream race, so you should give me a like for that, please. I'd appreciate that. Love you. Okay, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time. Much love.